All right, good evening and welcome to Master Talker online class. Today we'll be looking at these some theorems in polynomial, the factor and the remainder theorem. Okay, this one said that if a whole number a is said to be a factor of another whole number b, then it means that a divided by b, that there will be no remainder. Okay, for me to say that 2 is a factor of 12, it means that if that 2 is being divided, if 12 divide 2, I'm having 6 without any remainder. That is when I can boldly say that 2 is a factor of 12. That is the meaning. Okay, for polynomial, if we say that a polynomial p of x is a factor of another polynomial f of x, it means that if I say that f of x divided by that p of x, okay, I am going to get another polynomial which is the quotient f of x without any remainder. So if I do what is called cross multiply, I'm going to see that to get my f of x is just multiplying, like I told you in the first video, multiplying the quotient by that thing that is dividing it. Okay, multiplying the quotient by the divisor. That is when you get the polynomial. Okay, so but whenever a polynomial has a remainder, then that the divisor is no longer a factor. But to get the polynomial, to get any polynomial which has a remainder, means the same method, the quotient multiplied by that divisor, okay, plus the remainder. As simple as that. I told you this in the last video. Okay, so as simple as that. But whenever the remainder is now 0, it means that this person dividing, this divisor, is a factor of this one. Okay, is a factor of the polynomial f of x. Okay, so in that manner, that is that. Now the next thing here said that if a polynomial f of x is being divided by what? A linear equation. This is a linear equation. A linear equation is an equation whereby the highest power of the variable is 1. So when it is being divided by a linear equation, that to get the remainder, if a polynomial f of x is being divided by a linear equation x minus a, for instance, to get the remainder, you don't need to start dividing it. Just say that to get the remainder is what? Anywhere you see x in that equation, in that polynomial, just put the constant you are seeing there. Just put that a, and that is your remainder. Now if you now put that a and you get that the remainder is 0, what does it mean? It means that this man dividing is what? Is a factor. Please, that is just the explanation of these two. Okay, if I put f of a and I'm getting 0, it means that this person dividing is what? Is a factor. But if I did not get a 0, it means that it is not a factor. So instead of you going through the process of dividing it and getting the quotient, then getting the remainder, if you are asked to get only the remainder without the quotient, just put that anywhere you see x in that polynomial, put this a. Okay, put this a here, and then that is the answer. So what if I have, please find what is in fact I normally do it like this: x minus a is equal to 0. Then x becomes a cross here. I'm having x is equal to what? A, which means in that polynomial, anywhere I see s, I put a. But if here is plus, x plus a is equal to 0, it means that x is equal to what? Minus a, which means in that polynomial, anywhere I see s, what I'm putting is what? Minus a. To get what? To get the remainder. When do we do this? We do this when the polynomial is being divided by a linear equation that we can easily get the value of x. Okay, so that is that. Now let's solve some questions there. Okay, let's solve some questions. In fact, let's move into factorization of polynomial. Okay, or in fact solving solution of polynomial. It will help us in fact I will join the factorization inside it. Okay, solution of polynomial, I'm going to join the, okay, the first one said we should solve, solve x raised to the power 3 plus 8x raised to power 2 plus 9x minus 58 equal to 0. Okay, we should solve this. Now I'm going to solve it using factorization method of polynomial. Okay, how to factorize a polynomial. That is the method I'm going to use to solve this. Now if the highest variable, if the power of the variable here is 3, it means we are going to find just one factor by trial and error method. But if it is 2, I will say what? In fact, I'm not using trial and error. In fact, anyone you have, say that number minus 2. Okay, because the normal one we solve by normal factorization is a square. Maybe ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. If you look at this equation, you can solve this by normal factorization method. Okay, but if the number exceeds 2 now, you will use trial and error method. If it is 3, say 3 minus the 2 I know already will give you 1. So I need one factor by trial and error method. If it is 4, I'll say 4 minus the 2 I already know. It means 2. So I need 2 factors by trial and error method. If it is 5, I will say 5 minus this 2 I already know, which is 3. Which means I need 3 factors by trial and error method. So how do you do the trial and error method? The constant here, find the factors of the constant here. And I told you what a factor is. 58. 2 divide 58, I have what? I'm having okay, 2 divide, I have 5 to 18, 9. Okay, 29. And I'm having 29 to give you 1. Okay, so the 2 factors of 58 is 2 and 29. So let us put in fact, since it's minus, I can say minus 2. In fact, the factors here, the factors of minus 58 is what? I can use minus 1. In fact, 1 is a factor, minus 1, 2, minus 2, then 29 and minus 29. These are the factors. All these things can divide this constant without the remainder. So that's the first thing you do. Get the factors of all the constants. So you now check the one that will give you 0. Okay? If I put 1 here, if I let me go straight and put 2, I know what happens. Let me put 2. We'll say let x be equal to 2, which means anywhere I see x, I'm going to put 2. So if I put 2, I'm having what? So in fact, let f of x be equal to that 3x plus 8x squared plus 9x minus 58 equal to 0. Okay? So I'm having this is minus 1, 1, 2, minus 2, 29, minus 29. Okay, so let me put x to be what? So this implies that what? X minus 2 is equal to 0. So and I thought that if I simply put x to be 2 inside this place and I get 0, it means that what? This one is a factor, not this one. This one is a factor. Okay, so let us put that. If I put that, I'm having what? 2 raised to power 3 plus 8 into 2 raised to power 2 plus 9 into 2 minus 58. Please don't put equal to 0. Okay, we want to check using the remainder theorem that r is equal to f of 2. Let's check if we're going to get 0. So I'm having what? 8 plus 8 bracket 4 plus 9 bracket 2 minus 58. So what do I have? 8 plus 8 times 4, 32. Okay, plus what? 18. So what do we have? This plus this is 26. 26 plus 36. Okay, minus 58. So everything gave me 0. Since everything gave me 0, I will tell them that what? X minus 2, this one, x minus 2 is a factor. Factor of what? F of x. So I have gotten one factor by trial and error method. Okay? Since I've gotten one factor by trial and error method, what do? You now divide the next step. We have just 3 steps. Get by trial and error method, use that factor to divide the question. Once you divide the question, you will now get that quadratic equation. Then solve that quadratic equation by normal factorization method of quadratic equation. You get your answer. So the next thing we are going to do now is to divide this man. So I'm having x minus 2 x cubed plus 8x squared plus 9x minus 58. So let's divide. Please, the first method we did was using trial and error method to know if we are going to get 0. Once we got 0, this man is a factor. So let's do it again. I told that it's DMS, division first. The first person divided by the first person. I have what? X squared. This time this I'm having x cubed. This time this I'm having minus 2x squared. So let's subtract. This minus is 0. Minus minus. I told you minus must affect everybody down. Minus minus plus. 8 plus this I'm having what? 10x squared. Bring down these people. Plus 9x minus 58. So the next thing is what? This is still greater than this. I'll continue my DMS again. This divided by this I'm having what? Plus 10x. This time this 10x squared. This time this minus what? 20x. Let's subtract. This minus this 0. Minus minus plus. So 9 plus this I'm having what? 29x. Are you getting it? Then minus 58. So let's go. Let's go again. This divided by this I'm having what? Plus 29. So what do we have now? This time this I'm having what? 29x. This time this I'm having what? Minus 58, right? Okay. So this minus this 0. Everything is giving me 0. You see that the remainder is 0. And if the remainder is 0, it means that this is what? A factor of this. So which means the polynomial f of x is simply multiplying your quotient and the divisor. So it's simply x minus 2 be multiplied by x squared plus 10x plus what? 29. So let's go. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is now we solve this. No, but if you look at this cannot be factorized. Okay, sorry, it's equal to 0. It's equal to 0. Please, this cannot be factorized. Since this cannot be factorized, okay, if the question say factorize this question, you are leaving your answer in this form. But since your question says solved, it means this is equal to 0. So it means the first answer we're putting that x is 2, which is correct. Okay, the next answer is solving this by what? Quadratic formula. So if you solve it by quadratic formula, you get your answer. So I'm having x squared plus 10x plus 29, which means x is equal to 0. So I'm having that what? A is 1, B is 10, and C is what? 29. So I'm having that x is equal to what? Minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, substitute and get your answer. That is not the reason we are here. Let me solve another question that will help us to factorize. We are here to learn factorization method of a polynomial. Okay, all right. So the next one said factorize, not solve, factorize. You know, in solve means you will get the answer, but factorize means leave it like this. So they say factorize. Factorize 3x raised to power 4 plus 5x raised to power 3 minus 10x squared minus 20x minus 8. Okay, so we are asked to factorize this. You know, you notice in the question, if they say solve, they will say it's equal to 0. Okay, but in factorize, they will not equate it to anything. So what do we do now? Remember that this is raised to power 4, and the normal one we know by factorization method is raised to power 2. So the remaining two factors will be gotten by what? Trial and error method. So the next thing we are going to do is what? All the factors of minus 8. Factors of minus 8. So everything you think that can divide minus 8, which is what? 1 can divide it, minus 1 can divide it, 2 can divide it, minus 2 can divide it, 4 can divide it, minus 4 can divide it, 8 can divide it, and minus 8 can divide it. So these are all factors of These are all factors of minus 8. So by try and error method, let's try. I want to use the one that are applicable, please. You can try it by yourself. I know that 1 can give me 0, so let me try 1. F of 1, f of minus 1. Anywhere I see x here, I'll put what? Minus 1, which is what? 3 into minus 1. Please let f of x be this, please. So I'm having raised to power 4 plus 5 into minus 1 raised to power 3 minus 10 into minus 1 raised to power 2 minus 20 into minus 1, then minus 8. So let's check what is going to give us. So what do we have? This is 3 into 1 plus 5 into minus 1, because if the power is even number, the minus will disappear. But if the power is an odd number, the minus will remain. So I'm having minus 10 into, this is even number, the minus disappear, minus 20 into minus 1 and minus 8, which is what? 3 minus 5 minus 10. Am I getting 0? I don't think it's going to give me 0. Wow. Okay. Okay, this is minus 5 minus 10 minus 20. Okay, plus 20. Plus 20 minus 8. So let's check. Okay. This is minus 15. Minus 15 minus 3 will give you minus 23. Oh, so I'm having 0. Since I'm having 0, it means that what? Where did I say let s be equal to minus 2? Sorry. So before this, we are supposed to say let x be equal to minus 1. So this one will move here. So I'm looking for s plus 1. Okay. So since x equal to minus 1 is giving me 0, it means that not that s equal to minus 1, but x plus 1, because this one moving to this side. S plus 1 is a what? A factor of f of x. Okay, please, this thing is not difficult. Just if you repeat it, you see that it's not difficult. Okay, I've gotten the first factor. So the second factor I'm going to get by trial and error method. Let me say let x be equal to minus 2. So or let me say plus 2. X is equal to plus 2. So which implies that what? X minus 2. We are looking for if this one will be a factor. But let us first of all put this. F of 2 is equal to what? 3 bracket 2 raised to power 4 plus 5 bracket 2 raised to power 3 minus 10 bracket 2 raised to power 2 minus 20 bracket 2 minus 8. Okay, let's check that. So I'm having 3 bracket 16 plus 5 bracket 8 minus 10 bracket 4 minus 20 bracket 2 minus 8. Please, if you do everything, you will get 0 because I've done it before. So since I got 0, it means that what? X minus 2 is equally a factor. Is a factor of f of x. So since it's a factor of f of x, I've gotten 2. Since I've gotten 2, let the both of them join hand and divide this person. The both of them join hand and divide this person. It will reduce this person to 2. So let me multiply the two factors I've gotten. Okay, let me multiply the two factors I've gotten. X minus 2 and what? S plus 1. Okay, if they multiply, this time this, I'm having x squared, this time this plus x, this time this minus 2x, this time this minus 2. So I'm having s squared minus x minus 2. Okay, so let me use this now and divide this man to reduce him to raise to power 2. So if I divide it now, if I divide it, I'm having x squared minus x minus 2 is dividing s4 plus 5x3 minus 10x squared minus 20s minus 8. Okay, please don't forget DMS, division. If you did not learn anything here, please learn DMS, division first. The first person divided by the first person. I'm having 3s raised to power 2. Now use your answer to multiply everybody here. This time this 3s raised to power 4, this time this minus 3s raised to power 3, this time this minus 6x raised to the power 2. Then we'll subtract to get the remainder, and we'll continue until the remainder becomes less than the divisor. This minus this 0. Minus is affecting everybody down. Minus minus is what? Plus. 5 plus this, I'm having what? 8 x raised to the power 3. Minus minus plus. Minus 10 plus this will give you minus 4x squared. Bring down these people. Minus 20x minus 8. So we'll continue our DMS again. The first person divided by the first person. I'm having plus what? 8x. This time this, 8x cubed. This time this, minus 8x squared. This time this, minus 16x. So I will subtract again. This minus this, gone. Don't forget that minus affects everybody down. Minus minus plus. Minus 4 plus 8 will give you what? 4x raised to the power 2. Minus minus plus. Minus 20 plus 16 will give you what? Minus 4x. Okay, bring down your minus 8. So let's continue. This divided by this, I'm having just plus 4. This time this, 4x squared. This time this, minus 4x. This time this, minus 8. Now, if you see that this subtracting this, I'm having what? 0. What does it mean? That this person here, which is these two people, are factors of this. You remember that if the remainder is 0, it means that the person dividing is a factor of the question. Sorry, is a factor of the question. So this means that this is my answer. So permit me to clean here. It means that the f of x is now what? The combination of what? Your divisor with the quotient. Don't forget, quotient times the divisor. The divisor, let me call this divisor, plus the remainder, but the remainder is 0 because it's a factor. So which means my answer is what? Quotient, which is 3x squared plus 8x plus 4 into x squared minus x minus 2. Okay, so it's remaining for us to factorize this one. After factorizing this one, put it with this one we've gotten, and that is my answer. Okay, so let's factorize that one. I'm having 3x raised to the power 2 plus 8x plus 4. How do you solve factorization method of quadratic equation? The first person multiplied by the last person. This time this, I'm having what? 12x squared. Now in your secondary school, they will tell you find two things from here, in which if you add them or subtract them, you will get this person here. Okay, you don't need to think it. So find it out like this. Look at the method you use. 12x squared, share. 2 divide, I'm having what? 6x squared. 2 divide, I'm having what? 3x squared. 3 divide, I'm having what? x squared. X divide, I'm having what? X. X divide, I'm having what? 1. From this thing you have divided, create 2 groups in which each group must have x, and see what the answer will give you, if the answer will give me this person. Now let me take 2 and 2 with 1x, taking 3 and 1x. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times the x, 4x. Then 3 times the remaining x, 3x. What am I having? 7x. Is this the 7x? No. Which means my combination is wrong, child of God. So let me look for another combination. If I decide to take 2 and 3 with 1x, then take these remaining 2 with 1x. Let me see what I'm going to get. 2 times 3, 6. 6 times x, 6x. Plus 2 times x, that is remaining, 2x. Both of them will give me what? 8x. See, I have gotten that xx that I'm looking for. So in this question, anywhere I see is 8x, I'm going to replace it with what? 6x plus 2x. So I'll bring down 3x squared. Instead of writing this, I'm putting 6x plus 2x. Bring down what? Plus 4. Okay? If you get to this point, open 2 brackets. What is common between these two people? 3 can divide 6, so 3 is common. X can divide x squared, so x is common. These 2 divide by this, x is remaining here. These 2 divide by this, 2 is remaining here. Anything that is here must be here. X plus 2. How do you get the person outside? The last person divided by the last person. Plus plus plus. 4 divided by 2, 2. Okay? The next thing is, what is common between this line and this line? What is common is x plus 2 is common. And the remaining thing is now what? 3x plus 2. Okay, so that is that. I have factorized it, which means my f of x is equal to what? The 2 we've gotten before. X minus 2, x plus 1, x plus 2, and what? 3x plus 2. Okay, so that is that. Now, thank you very much for watching. But please, if the question said solve and not factorize, if the question said solve and not factorize, it means they will give you equal to 0. So I'm going to equate this thing to 0. That is, if the question said solve, I'm going to say x minus 2 is equal to 0, or x plus 1 is equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0, or 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 2, x is equal to minus 1, x is equal to minus 2, and x is equal to what? Minus 2 over 3. So therefore, x is equal to 2, comma, minus 1, comma, minus 2, comma, minus 2 over 3. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you. In our next video, we'll talk about finding polynomials using the quotient and the remainder and the divisor. God bless you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.